Welcome to this literacy curriculum presentation. We will look at 3 literacy curricula, all aimed at grades 6 through 8. We will look at Amplify English Language Arts, Shirley English, and the Lucy Calkins and Teachers College Reading, Writing, and Phonics units of study. Then we'll go through the steps for the curriculum selection process, and I will make my final recommendation. We'll start by looking at Amplify ELA. So Amplify ELA is based on 5 pillars of research: a focus on middle grade engagement, text at the center, high expectations and strong supports, active, multimodal, and collaborative learning, and timely ongoing feedback and assessment. They also provide differentiation supports for English language learning students and students with disabilities. And these supports are all research-based. So Amplify cites research from a variety of reputable sources, including WIDA, an authority on English language learning research, the New England Reading Association Journal, CEC Professional Standards, Teaching Exceptional Children, and Educational Leadership, to name a few. Now let's discuss how Amplify supports foundational literacy. Amplify reading and writing lessons are centered around text engagement. Amplify seeks to utilize adolescents' desire for autonomy, collaboration, and exploration. Students have the opportunity to engage with complex texts. Lessons feature individual, partner, and small group work opportunities. Their platform allows for immediate teacher feedback. The embedded scaffolding in the program provides students of various learning levels opportunities to engage meaningfully with the text that they are reading. Amplify published an impact study in 2016 on students in grades 6 and 7. The Amplify ELA curriculum had a statistically significant and positive effect on both cohorts' ELA state scale scores. Regardless of race, students in the Amplify ELA program outperformed their non-Amplify in-district peers and the overall state average scores on end-of-the-year state assessments. Let's look at some of the strengths. Amplify is a highly digital platform which allows for embedded supports for students with learning differences and language differences at many levels. So some of these supports that are available are a dictionary, an online dictionary with the program, text-to-speech, access to digital graphic organizers for writing assignments, and scaffolding such as sentence starters for writing assignments, word banks, things of that nature. Teachers can activate differentiation on the online platform at various levels. So these levels are substantial, ELL or developing, moderate, and light. EdReports, an organization of teachers who review curricula, gave Amplify a perfect score. These scores demonstrate that Amplify meets expectations in usability and alignment from grade level to grade level. Amplify comes with a digital library for students to use for their independent reading. So there are a lot of books out there that students can read and engage with just by having access to the platform and using the curriculum. Units and their associated texts are arranged in a staircase of increasing complexity. And then finally, pacing. Amplify includes a 100-day pacing guide or a 100-day or a 180-day pacing guide, so that teachers and schools have a little bit of flexibility in which they would like to use. So now we'll look at some of the weaknesses of Amplify, and then we'll go over some of the ways we might combat those weaknesses. So first of all, there is limited differentiation for advanced learners. There's actually no mention of differentiation for advanced learners in their research and analysis on the differentiation in the curriculum. I mentioned before that this curriculum is very technologically heavy. A lot of time must be spent preparing teachers, students, and parents on how to navigate the application. Amplify provides parent guides, in-person training, and live customer support. And that live support is available for anyone with access to the curriculum. So not just teachers, but students can utilize it as well. Another weakness is the lack of hybrid learning. So the paper resources for Amplify are pretty limited, which can pose a challenge for teachers. The paper resources that they do provide are sometimes out of step with what they are able to provide on their digital platform. The digital platform is so rich and so filled with activity and resources. Meanwhile, the paper curriculum does not have all those advantages and pieces embedded. So that does create an opportunity for teachers to use some autonomy and use those paper resources, but also create their own resources and develop activities that fit the needs of their learners. Or they could even look into the challenge of becoming a paperless classroom. Finally, Amplify does not include genre units. So all students read the same book, which can affect engagement and pose challenges for particularly low readers. Amplify claims that their texts are engaging and culturally relevant. However, if you are using the 100-day pacing guide, your pacing guide may skip over certain texts that might be more engaging or feature diverse global perspectives. So that's something to keep in mind. However, with that, the text-to-speech is available on that digital platform, so students who are struggling to read the text on their own do have the audio support. Now let's discuss Surely English. Surely English is available for grades 1 through 8, but we will be looking at the middle school curriculum, which just focuses on mainly reading. So the research base for Surely English focuses on neuroscientific research, which suggests 6 elements for efficient learning: frequency, intensity, cross-training, motivation, adaptivity, and attention. So there's an emphasis on memory research. The curriculum uses a rhythmic model of questions and answers to identify parts of speech in a sentence, kind of like a call and response with the students, and songs or jingles to teach parts of speech. Methods of teaching include direct instruction, the memory model of instruction, which is based on Bloom's taxonomy, and also the concept of chunking, Gardner's multiple intelligences theory, and brain-compatible instruction. Students learn and are assessed on writing skills based on Norman Webb's work, Depths of Knowledge of 4 Content Areas. Surely English provides lessons in sentence structure, grammar, and writing. Their instructional model balances direct instruction with independent work. They also provide graphic organizers. The chapters are divided into various sections, which I'll list out. So they're divided into analogy and vocabulary time within each lesson, jingle time, grammar time, practice and revising sentences, skill builders, skill time, classroom practice, classroom checkup, which is like a chapter review activity, the chapter test, writing time, literature time, and discovery time. So literature time includes shorter pieces of text, such as poems, articles, biographies. Discover time includes some research activities. A 2010 review of Surely English curriculum showed that from 4th to 5th grade, students learning from the Surely English program who demonstrated proficiency increased by 4.3%. Pre- and post-tests show that proficient and advanced learners demonstrated significant gains, and the percentage of students at the below basic level also decreased. Some of the strengths of Surely English. The curriculum's strong ties to neuroscience makes it pretty unique, as well as its relationship with educational research. Test scores do indicate growth in major areas of literacy, especially writing conventions and editing skills. Finally, the use of jingles creates opportunities for students to utilize multiple intelligences through music and kinesthetic learning. Let's look at some of the weaknesses of the curriculum. So first of all, the research is outdated. Some of the assessment results that they cite go as back as 2003, with 2011 being one of the more recent examples of the curriculum's benefits. So something that we would need to do to combat that is utilize regular formative assessments so that we are making sure that we are being diligent about tracking our progress. There's also not a reading curriculum for middle grades. That literature time component in the textbook, it's short. It's reading a biography, for example, or a poem. So there's no embedded reading curriculum. That is an opportunity for teacher autonomy and creativity, where teachers can come up with their own genre studies, book studies that fit their population of learners. And then finally, their digital platform is new. So that is a weakness, but it can also be beneficial. It may make it easier to onboard learners, parents, and teachers. Their paper workbooks and their textbooks are very much in line with what the digital platform offers. So pulling off a hybrid model is not too challenging with Surely English. Finally, let's look at the Lucy Calkins and TCRWP units of study. The units of study is based on 30 years of reading and writing research, and the research is divided into 3 parts. So 1, classrooms matter. Classrooms should be rich with text and visual resources. Classrooms should have libraries with diverse levels and content. And classrooms should be arranged mindfully to allow opportunities for student talk, teacher-student conferences, and independent work time. The instructional approach. The instructional model includes mini lessons with direct instruction, conferencing, teacher modeling, and independent time for reading and writing. Mini lessons allow students to engage in their work independently. The workshop model allows time for teacher conferences for individualized feedback and independent reading time for students. The workshop model is aligned with research that states that students should have frequent and regular opportunities for writing. Students should be taught a variety of writing strategies. Students need explicit instruction in writing for specific audiences and purposes, as well as author's craft. Students should be familiar with the predictable writing process, the brainstorm, outline, draft, revise, and edit process. And students need opportunities for individualized feedback for growth. The final component is resources for learning. So this curriculum includes opportunities for students to read and write about the issues they value. For example, there is a social issues book club in the middle grades curriculum. The curriculum also features texts from diverse perspectives and places an emphasis on independent reading. So that students have an opportunity to have a meaningful, self-directed experience with the text that they read. In the units of study, students are taught the steps of the writing process and how to apply it to different styles of writing. Explicit and direct instruction in reading and writing is provided within these mini lessons. Student independence and voice is key to this curriculum. That's what makes it so engaging. This curriculum also features recent case studies where administrators and teachers have been able to share how the curriculum changed their school. And some of the things they mention is that their students are engaging in rich discussions about text. The curriculum is accessible for their English language learners and students with disabilities. And the curriculum establishes a culture of reading in their schools. A research study was conducted from 2010 to 2019 to examine the relationship between the curriculum and state test results. So schools with the curriculum saw growth on testing after 1 year of implementation, and scores continued to climb in year 6 post-implementation. Higher test scores were also observed in English language learners and students on free and reduced price lunch. That growth started to show itself after 2 years of implementation. So there's a real slow and steady progression to this curriculum. Some of the strengths of this curriculum: emphasis on individualized feedback. Teachers can provide on-the-fly differentiation for learners of all levels. Utilizing book clubs and themes allows opportunities for student choice and reading rich texts at a variety of levels. Years of research is available, including recent research. I previously mentioned the years-long study from 2009 to 2019 that supports the curriculum's impact. The case studies and data reports from schools are published as recently as 2018. And they also provide robust professional development including summer programs. So one of the weaknesses of the curriculum is that lack of growth during the first 2 years of curriculum implementation. So we would combat this by, first of all, committing to using the curriculum for more than 2 years so we could see that great progress that comes down the line of continuing this program. And we can also use supplementary resources and interventions for our students performing below proficiency, so we can make sure that they're getting all the support that they need in that moment. So let's discuss the decision-making process. First of all, a survey for parents and teachers to identify current areas of strength and areas of growth for our students in reading and writing abilities will be provided. Then there will be a community meeting to discuss the survey results, where stakeholders will be invited into the building to participate. There will be another meeting where we will examine exactly how these curricula align with the strengths and areas of growth that were identified by those survey results. After that, attendees will be able to complete an exit survey on which curriculum they think best addresses those areas. School leaders will use that feedback to select the best fit curriculum. And once the curriculum is selected, a timeline for implementation will be provided, as well as parent education and preparation. So there will be in-person sessions provided, there will be Zoom sessions provided, as well as take-home resources such as emails, newsletters, and video tutorials. My final recommendation would be to use the Lucy Calkins units of study for our school. The balance of direct instruction and independent work time leads to high engagement. Opportunities for student choice in book selection and writing is another key factor in what promotes that culture of reading that those case studies, the teachers in those case studies spoke about. The program also emphasizes increasing students' stamina for writing and students really spending time with their reading and their writing. The instructional method in writing can be applied across content areas, so those strategies such as brainstorming, outlining, and revising has a place in writing about social studies and science. One-on-one conferencing allows teachers to provide differentiation in the moment, so there is enough opportunity for our students that are struggling and our students that need more of a challenge to get what they need. Finally, the professional development that they provide along with their years of research and their case studies where they actually spoke to administrators and teachers in their schools about their effectiveness of the program really makes this curriculum stand out to me. So thank you so much for your time today. I'm looking forward to working with you on selecting this curriculum for our school.